In the annals of history, Nicolae Ceaușescu stands as a poignant example of how a leader's misguided decisions can have far-reaching and devastating consequences for a nation and its people. As the General Secretary of the Romanian Communist Party and President of Romania, Ceaușescu's rule from 1965 to 1989 was characterized by oppressive policies, economic mismanagement, and a cult of personality. In this in-depth exploration, we will dissect the bad decisions of Nicolae Ceaușescu and the lasting lessons they offer, enabling us to steer clear of similar pitfalls in the modern world. Join us on this enlightening journey as we delve into the repercussions of Ceaușescu's actions, drawing valuable insights from history to inform our approach to leadership today. Subscribe to our channel for more captivating explorations of influential historical figures and the profound lessons they teach. Cult of personality: the dangers of absolute power. Nicolae Ceaușescu cultivated a cult of personality, centralizing power around himself and suppressing dissenting voices. His iron fist rule stifled free speech and perpetuated a climate of fear. In the modern context, we learn that concentrating power in the hands of a single individual can lead to disastrous consequences. Leaders must prioritize transparency, open dialogue, and checks and balances to ensure accountability and prevent abuses of power. Centralized economic planning: the perils of mismanagement. Ceaușescu pursued an ambitious and costly industrialization program, emphasizing heavy industry at the expense of agricultural development. His policies led to chronic shortages and a crumbling economy. In the modern world, leaders should heed the warning of centralized economic planning. Embrace economic diversification, encourage private enterprise, and prioritize sustainable development to foster a robust and resilient economy. Forced demolitions, disregard for human rights. Ceaușescu's regime undertook widespread urban demolitions, displacing thousands of people from their homes without adequate compensation or alternative housing. In the modern context, we must respect human rights and prioritize the well-being of our citizens. Leaders should prioritize inclusive urban planning, ensuring that development initiatives consider the needs and rights of affected communities. Secrecy and propaganda, fostering a climate of mistrust. Ceaușescu's regime maintained tight control over information, relying on state-controlled media to disseminate propaganda and suppress dissent. In the modern world, leaders must embrace transparency and promote a free press to foster a culture of trust and informed decision-making. Repressive security forces, the price of fear. Ceaușescu's security forces were notorious for their repressive tactics, including surveillance, arbitrary arrests, and torture, to quell any form of opposition. In the modern context, leaders should prioritize building trust between citizens and security forces, promoting the rule of law, and safeguarding human rights. Personality cult and overspending, misplaced priorities. Ceaușescu squandered significant resources on grandiose projects that served to glorify himself and his regime, while neglecting vital social services and infrastructure. In the modern world, leaders should prioritize prudent spending, directing resources towards education, healthcare, and infrastructure that benefits the well-being of their citizens. Isolation and international relations, a costly approach. Ceaușescu's isolationist foreign policy led to strained relations with Western countries and limited access to international markets. In the modern context, leaders should recognize the value of constructive international relations, engaging with the global community to foster economic and diplomatic ties. Lack of political reform, stifling progress. Ceaușescu resisted political reform, maintaining a one-party system that limited democratic representation and hindered progress. In the modern world, leaders must embrace democratic principles, encourage political participation, and create an environment conducive to constructive dialogue and collaboration. Decline in quality of life, prioritizing the people. Ceaușescu's policies led to a decline in the quality of life for ordinary Romanians, with shortages of food, housing, and basic necessities becoming pervasive. In the modern context, leaders must prioritize the well-being of their citizens, focusing on social welfare, affordable housing, and accessible healthcare and education. Ignoring popular discontent, the peril of ignorance. Ceaușescu ignored widespread discontent among the Romanian population, leading to the eventual outbreak of a violent revolution that toppled his regime. In the modern world, leaders must listen to the concerns and grievances of their citizens, demonstrating responsiveness and a willingness to address pressing issues. Conclusion. As we conclude our journey through the life and leadership of Nicolae Ceaușescu, the consequences of bad leadership stand as stark reminders of the immense responsibility entrusted to those in power. Ceaușescu's missteps offer invaluable lessons that echo across time, guiding us to build a future that prioritizes transparency, accountability, human rights, and the well-being of our citizens. Subscribe to our channel and join us in exploring the lives of influential historical leaders, drawing from history's teachings to become more effective and compassionate leaders in the modern world. Let us learn from the mistakes of the past to forge a brighter and more equitable future together.